Hello everyone, this is Bigalski,
And this is JTB.
and this is Chapter 6 of Ninja Gaiden Black, my normal walkthrough on the Xbox One system. Now the first fight that's coming up is, I'm a score player, and I do a lot of UTs and ETs, it's just something I've always done, but that doesn't mean that everybody has to play like that. So I have a series of 3 fights that is kind of an alternative. My freeforming sucks, it's just not something that I do. But again, you don't have to do all the dragging essence and everything like that to make the time limit. So again, however your playstyle is, the goal is to make the time limit. So again, there was the first fight, just doing it one way, and this fight is how I'm doing it my playstyle way.
I always wanted to give that a go, but I never got around to it, is trying to do like a no UT karma run. It's a good bit.
Just making all the time limits, would that still be a karma run if it's no UT?
No, I mean like you're trying to do it like as fast as possible, but without UTs, because like some of them are really hard without UTs.
Oh yeah, yeah. And again, I know I've gotten some blasts, from people, this is all you know how to do. Well, you know what? Since the goal is to make all the time limits, and again, I like getting a good score, that's how I choose to play. So anybody can play however they want to, as long as you're having fun. But again, if you're going to set challenges for yourself, sometimes there's just limitations to those challenges. Now, after I do this fight, I go and save, and then I go back out 3 times because you're going to need to make up some kills. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So again, this is another, hey, you can make the time limit without, doing a ton of UTs. I really, I'm surprised that move didn't kill him.
Yeah, so am I actually. I mean, like I know the level 2 Luna's not very powerful, but still, that was like the full string. The Luna looks so cool.
Oh. Did you see that? I went to go Fiend Sealer him, and because the other enemy was coming up,
yeah,
I've noticed that. I can't stand that.
I've noticed that with the Luna as well. That seems to be like the most prevalent with the Luna. Yeah, I don't know why, but his Fiend Sealer like prioritization is terrible with the Luna. He will always do the regular Y attack, and he won't go for the Fiend Sealer. It's so annoying.
Again, and this is the normal, or this is the way that I would normally do it. And if you were going for karma, you would try to start off with a charge of the
Yeah. There is also a sweet spot to the left of the altar.
Right to my left, right there, or the left of the screen, on those steps right there, or the little slope right there.
You don't really have the time to like really abuse it on the lower difficulties though. It's like more of a strategy for the higher modes. I love the Luna's Fiend Sealer, it's so good.
Again, I think I messed up a couple times, but the goal is the time limit. I think that's a good challenge once people get the hang of, fighting the game and knowing the enemies, and how can I continue playing the game and still have a good time. I mean, if you want to have a good time, definitely don't go for a max karma run.
I second that. That is a good point though. I think there's definitely levels to this game, and I think when you first, I remember when I first started playing, like I didn't give a shit about points. I kind of looked at the point system, like why is there a point system in this game? Like this seems really pointless. Just do it.
Pointless for the point system.
But then again, the more you understand the game and the more you learn, you think, oh, actually, this is in a way like this is kind of genius how this actually all fits together. It's I still think it was a fluke. I don't think they designed it that way, but the fact that it is the way it is still kind of amazing in a lot of ways to me.
There's one of those methods that when you try it so many times, you get so good at it. So that's what I showed. You just run straight to it. It's happened so many times. Again, this is just, hey, you don't have to do all this stuff. But I'm telling you, man, those imps, I can't stand them. I mean, they'll duck under your UTs, they'll flip backwards.
Yeah, it's funny. It's not something that I suppose when the game was newer, people didn't really know enough to kind of know, which makes sense. But having recently done a normal run myself, it's amazing like how much harder than the lower difficulties are when you play them for score. You know, the higher difficulties, you have so much, like, there's two things that I think go in your favor. You have so much time, like the amount of time you have for most fights is like 2 to 3 times longer than you probably should have, and you get like 5 to 6 times the amount of money out of every single enemy you kill. So it really makes like your item management a lot easier. Granted, you have less items, but you still can hold quite a lot. And like the more you understand it, like a hard Karma run, for example, is still, in my opinion at least, I think the hardest mode to Karma run by far.
Right. Now, normally I would go get the Scarab and the Great Devil Elixir, but I wanted to try dragging this essence to this, you know, just to do something different. I've never really tried it before. But of course, I dragged the essence, but I didn't get the UT. And this fight goes awful right here. I mean, it's just, there's the, you know, some things that I missed, trying to knock him down, and it didn't. I was actually trying to jump towards the, look at all this. I mean, just everything that could go wrong went wrong. I mean, I tried the X+A towards the Monk Fiend, and it went towards the dead guy. And that really caught me off guard, and which kind of led to this unfortunate series of events.
Yeah.
But I made the time.
You can always count on Ryu to do that. He will always target what you don't want him to target.
Oh, and it was just like, wow. I mean, it really pissed me off at the time, but again, it's like, you know, stay focused, just make the time limit. That's what this is about. Now, again, if that was a Karma run, you know, it would have been reset.
Also, yeah, it would have been reset, but it wouldn't just be that fight you would have to redo.
Yeah,
that's the other thing about
yeah.
They say the lower difficulties, like the gauntlets are so much longer.
You know, I get so nervous of that Monk thing. Okay, where are you going to appear? I mean, you never know where he's going to appear. I have a couple bloopers where I would jump out of the way to UT. I couldn't see him at all, and I'd jump right into him. I'm not good with the forward Y with the Lunar, so I just always go to the Dragon Sword.
It's not as consistent though, as well. Like, I mean, I think it happened earlier in this video. You actually hit an imp with it, but he didn't get launched.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. So listen, everybody, listen and watch. What's the guy? Now watch him disappear. So for some reason, the first 3 enemies spawned, and then again, it kind of threw me off here. Hey, what's going on? And but it turns out, I don't know why it does that, but anyway, I only end up with 57 kills because of those 3 guys. You know, despawning. I've never seen that before. Maybe it's just the Xbox One thing.
Nah, me neither. Maybe they just didn't want to fight Ryu. They're like, nope.
They saw me come in.
Yeah, that's weird. I think that's one thing that would be interesting to see, like, the differences the more people play this game on Xbox One. I've been playing it a lot more myself on Xbox One recently, and the main thing I've noticed is, as I said before, is like the degree to which you get Nimpa orbs is just like noticeably higher on this console for whatever reason. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any more little, you know, quirks like that come about.
Right.
They did get rid of the annoying like visual glitch in the Eternal Legend environment too, which is nice.
Yeah, that's really good. And also when you shoot the chopper in Chapter 9, it was messed up.
Yeah.
One thing that I don't think I've really talked about too much is you can't control the direction of your UT. So I do that a lot on here whenever I need to. See, right there is a good example. You can do that with the flails. You can actually do it with the Lunar.
Yeah. You can also do it with the Dragon Sword and Kitetsu's ET mid-animation. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, on your, if you, say for example, you have an enemy like in front and behind you, you'll see it, it's in my Chapter 1 speedrun. I will let the ET go, let Rio auto-target the guy in front, and then quickly like push the directional stick in the other way, and then he'll actually change direction and go the other way. And that's how, especially with the ETs on the Dragon Sword, you'll see it in the Pillbugs too. That's how you can make like the Dragon Sword ET like kind of overpowered in a lot of ways, because it's obviously, I would say, it's designed to only really hit one guy and hit one way. So the fact that you can kind of extend its hitbox is pretty crazy.
Well, you said the one word that already, you know, threw me off. quickly. Now, my goal on here, again, it's not to max out UTs. It's just, hey, I'm going to do the whole thing with the Dragon Sword. I'm not going to use Nimpo. I'm not going to use Elixirs. The problem with doing this sometimes is I'm not focusing on those guys. And see right there, I couldn't Fiend Seal them with the other guys. That's the reason I'm jumping up right now. But you're going to end up killing the imps, and you're going to have a ton of, monks after that. So,
Yeah.
ideally you would like to, be able to stabilize them, but I knew I could charge up too here after he did his animation.
Yeah, do you get 20 monks? Is it 20 monks and 40 imps? I think that's
right.
That sounds right. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's right.
So here, the rest of this is just me charging UTs to kill him again. I could go kill him, but that's the score part of me. Be careful of standing next to the door and walking out by mistake.
Oh yeah, that's always great when that happens.
But a good move. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say a good move for the monks with the lunar X+A to target them, and then I think it's my only ET there. X+A and then Y to do whatever the spinny move that comes down, and then that usually knocks them down. Then you can Fiend Seal them. I think I'll show that strategy coming up here between the next 9 kills. Should be 12, but it's only 9. And
yeah, you can also I just thought you can also use the Dragon Sword as well, the Air Destruction Slash, which is its directional in-air X move that usually knocks them down as well, which is really good.
Yeah, and see, that's the X with the Dragon Sword. And again, I just wanted to do this part with the lunar because I know I can connect a lot better than whiffing with the Dragon Sword on this. Plus, I had a better consistency right there. See, that's the X+A to target, and then the Y to knock him down, then Fiend Sealer. Whereas with the Dragon Sword, you would X+A to target, and then X, and it does a little circle, and then you can Y to Fiend Sealer.
You're I just noticed you're getting pretty unlucky. Like the regular ones you kill, you're constantly getting yellows.
Oh,
Monk guys usually give you blues.
Hey man.
Or reds on Xbox One.
Yeah, really. See, and there's the move there at the end. So I get ready because I'm thinking I have 3 more enemies, and I don't. So what I do after this fight is I go pick up my Spirit of the Devils. See, I have to turn around. I don't have that just run backwards like you do. I'll jump straight up the wall. But anyway, I go pick up the statue in the monk's room that I didn't pick up from earlier. I go pick up my Scarab. Go pick up my Great Devil Elixir. Go to Maramasa. That's the only time I went to Maramasa in this chapter. And then come down and start doing this. And be careful when you land here, because if you land to the guy to the left of you, your UT might knock him off, and then you don't have the essence from that.
It is fun to guillotine throw these guys over the edge.
So again, you don't have to fight it this way. I think this is a time limit, that can be made by freeforming if you want to. Maybe an ET just to be sure. So again, it's up to people. Now, normally you could go in that gate that was behind me. The bats will come down, and you can, do the shuriken to kill a few, and then drag the essence to this fight. But again, I wanted to kind of show another way here, and use the, and of course my exploding kill too. But use the incendiary shurikens, and a lot of this too also depends on where the guys spawn.
Yeah, this is a really annoying fight. You generally have 5 kind of up top where you are now, and you'll have 5 allocated to the ground floor. And I hate wasp fiends. They should be removed from the game.
You just never know where they're going to go. I know I could get one more UT out of that, but it's, again, I made the time limit. Yeah. I'm going to go up here and get the Scarab. Don't forget that. I never jump on the other thing to go to the Life of the Gods.
No, me neither. Only when I'm making a point of getting all the Life of the Gods.
I think I've only picked up 2. Now on this on landing right here, with the guy spawning right there, if you can UT him and then roll away from the chains, they tend to come towards you. But I do have like a blooper video of one guy just standing there. I missed my on landing fly there, but I still got it. But just standing behind the chains, just running at the chain.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen. What's worse is, the worst thing is when like the final enemy does that, you know?
Oh
You're
yeah,
just kind
I
of
have
looking
it.
at him and you're like, come on, like, make your way past the chain, god damn it, and he just gone.
And you just watch the time limit count down to 0.
Yeah.
So again, I picked up my Scarab and then went up and saved. Again, be careful on the saves. I did a run through and I was actually 10 seconds over, and you know, had to rethink some strategy to, you know, figure out where I could make up the time at. If you don't care about points or any of that stuff, it doesn't really matter. But if you're going for all of that, you know, you have to really plan your route out. Again, for a karma run, I could have got 2 more UTs, but
yeah, there's one
more
thing that's
UT.
also worth noting for that lift fight right there. You ended it with quite a bit of time left. You can actually delay the last kill a little bit and chain essence to this fight if you want to. This fight is actually a pretty tricky fight for time. It can be, if these guys want to screw you over, they will. So chaining like an ET here is really handy.
Yeah, whenever I started and I killed the guy, I jumped over to one side to let them start funneling towards me. Because if you kind of do a UT in the middle, you've got guys on the left and you got guys on the right.
Yeah.
And then that can mess you up. So I tried to kind of steer. I mean, again, it doesn't always happen just that way, but I was happy with that without having to use any kind of Nympho or dragging any essence. I still used my incendiary shurikens. Now, the thing is, you know, on the like the lunar, you can press X and then immediately go into hold Y, and you know, he just starts charging. But here, when you do the X and then you go to the hold Y, I get the whatever this, yeah, that move right there is. I wasn't meaning to do that. And
I can't remember what that string is called actually.
Accident. So again, I'm sorry, people. I know I'm making this a little bit longer than I have to because I could just UT with the flails and just, like, you know, I would have killed both of those guys. And it's like, but I'm missing out on points. So again, forgive me for y'all having to put up with this, but you know, it's part of it. You know,
it's also one of the main sources of essence on a normal run.
Yeah, that's what I'm
that
doing.
doesn't know. Yeah, the zombies are worth 700 apiece, killed with a UT. And if you don't care about time, like, you know, with being able to charge UTs in NGB, like, you would be able to just get, I mean, what is there in this fight? Is it 15?
Yeah, there's 15 in this one.
Yeah, so you'd be able to get like 700 essence out of every single enemy, so you would be able to get a nice bit of money out of that.
I think I missed him there. Yeah, I waited. That's the bad part too with the lunar. You know your animation's going to go, so you can actually jump a little bit farther away. You can, you know, plan your own landings. Again, you know, this fight, as boring as it may be, you know, there's a lot of planning to it to max out score if you're going to do a karma.
Yeah, and you also have the level 2 Luna here, don't you?
Yeah, but I didn't.
Yep.
Again, I didn't want to. I didn't want to take a chance of killing more, you know, more enemies. You know, again, I still have a lot of time left. I know I left out a lot of points, but I definitely would have left out a lot of points if I had Lunar UT'd and killed 4 of them. In fact, I did my chapter, started my chapter 7, and there was a point where like 4 guys were like standing right there in between, and the archer was in between them. So it really, you know, it was kind of tricky to split everybody out so I wouldn't kill 5 guys at once. I walked out the door the other day. That was a lot of fun.
It's annoying when Ryu does that, because you know when you are near something that is interactable, like a chest or a door or anything like that.
Right.
When you want Ryu to like prioritize the door, you know, like when there's a guy attacking you, and you're near the door and you're pressing X, and you're like, God damn it, Ryu, just go through the door, and he's constantly attacking the enemy instead, and you think, no, what are you doing? No. And yet the one time you don't want him to do it, you're like, yeah, this karma run's going really well. Okay, I'm going to XY this guy, and he goes through the door, and you think,
That's happened in the archive challenge.
I remember one time I was playing the, I think it was the Master Ninja Stadium challenge, the Berserkers. And I did like a roll jump and a wind run just out of habit, and like jumped just past the stairs and like despawned. Like,
when you're at like 90 or something.
Yeah. That is soul destroying.
Now, when we get to Chapter 7, we'll talk about, you know, these fights in a little bit more detail in terms of karma, but one reason why I'm showing every fight is, hey, you know, this is part of it. If you're going to do all of this, as boring as it is, you know, that's part of making the time limits and making the kills and, you know, getting a good score. So it's, some of it is boring as hell. But, you know, that's just part of it.
I think it's nowhere near as bad as it is on the Gaiden. Especially if you're going for, you know, full score. Because these fights, for example, that fight you were just in, I think on Master Ninja, if I remember rightly, I think you have somewhere in the region of 380 seconds for that fight.
Wow. Over 6 minutes.
You can get 50 UTs out of it. Like, it's possible.
And then mess up at the end and fall down.
Yeah. And, you know, comparing that to the, you know, the lower difficulties,
what?
like, even on, there's only a couple of theme challenges on normal where it's really feasible to get 50 UTs. On Master Ninja, and even very hard, there's multiple regular fights where 50 UTs is possible. Right. There's that guy just landed right next to you.
Oh, how did that start? I know I didn't jump X. How did that start?
That's a good question. I'll have to check the tape. I was just thinking that, like, wait, you didn't do helm splitter, but, you know, the lift's going.
I must have done it with my mind or something. Now, the bad thing about doing the elevator up early, I usually wait till I'm at like 10 kills or something like that, because I've actually jumped out of the room before too.
Oh yeah, that's a hard break.
You know, if it's you know, if it's at 10 seconds and you start going, or 10 kills and you start going up, you really don't have to worry about jumping out of the room, because you usually get up to the top at that time. But again, just one of those little tips of the trade.
Yeah, and also, as you notice, you're more than always positioning your UT like towards the zombie, because we all know Ryu will go for the switch.
Oh,
if you're not
yeah.
careful.
Yeah, I try to get behind the zombie, never in front of it.
Yeah.
Because it'll. Oh, it's. Breathe in, breathe out. After all the times that has happened.
Yep. I really wish there was a way to, well, especially on a karma run, on a normal run, it'd be feasible. But I really wish there was a way to get the level 2 flails on normal when you're playing the score. It just takes so much time. I believe on Sigma there's a Muramasa at the bottom here, isn't
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like getting the level 2 flails is super easy on Sigma, but on a karma run, like, it's just not going to happen on normal. You just don't have the time, unfortunately.
Oh, that reminds me. That was good. You know, I was just waiting for him. It's like, okay, when are you going to shoot? When are you going to shoot? And I'm running around, and then it's like, okay. And then, of course, that's when he does it. I just, that tension I get sometimes whenever I think, do I kill them both? This is right there is the reason I don't equip the flails earlier, because I didn't mean to hit that guy, or when I first, you know, started the UT, and then he just kind of clipped him, and then he's dead. Yep. So in terms of points, you know, I just lost out on at least 5,000 points.
Yeah. And the final hit of the flail UT, like, that really is where the damage is, especially at level 1. At level 2, like, the flurry before it still actually does a lot of damage, but if you hit a flail UT on a boss, just kind of pay attention to how much damage, like, the little flurry does, and then just watch, like, a giant chunk disappear whenever the final hit connects. It's pretty funny.
Well, here's something, most karma videos, you don't do this, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. I see a lot of people going up to the top and trying to fight them anyway, even without trying to UT them. So if you come back down, their angle can't hit you. So I wanted to show this way, because actually I have a blooper of me getting right up there and getting knocked off. I'm like, well, I'm not going to go through all this crap again. Let me just do it. You know, this is the easy way. But again, be careful, because if you position yourself funny, like I try to get this essence right here to draw it, but look how close I am. If I hit the wrong way, I'd fall off. But the good part about that is, because I already got the already made the timing, so it wouldn't matter.
I like those transitions. They're really cool.
Now, I wanted to show this way. I've seen a lot of people try to jump on the ledges there to the right, but you can just do this.
Yeah,
So
as long as you line it up, I actually think that's easier.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I've hit the corner and flip back down. Now, on this fight right here, I wanted to try something different than the normal way, so I said, well, you know, I've never really tried with the level 2 Lunar and Inferno Nimpo, so I'm going to give that a shot. I didn't put the timer up because I didn't know how it was going to go. You know, it was just kind of showing a different way than the normal flails and fire wheels. So it actually, you know, if I worked on this, it could have been maybe a good way. Use the Inferno to cancel out the striker so he won't, you know, hit you. And then
one thing to note actually too about Nimpo in general, it definitely was kind of I guess frowned upon when the game was new for some reason. But don't be afraid to abuse Nimpo. The game doesn't really do a great job of telling you like just how overpowered your Nimpo is. But your Nimpo is extremely useful, like not just for, you know, dealing damage purposes, but, you know, kind of think of it as like a get out of jail free card. If you get into a bad spot, just light up your Nimpo. You're invincible. Like nothing can hit you. So.
And this last part was really unnecessary, but I did it just for funskis. So again, that's just an alternative way to fight the dragon versus the normal speed run, kill him as fast as you can. Again, that run wasn't great. This one isn't perfect. XYY with the flails is really good. If you had the level 2, you'd do the Ripping Thunder move. But be careful if you go back. That's the reason I get on this side. If you get on the other side, sometimes your XYY doesn't hit him because you're in that little slotted indention. There you kind of see it where I'm almost standing right there. So sometimes you don't hit his legs. I might have lit that a little. I should have done the string and then lit after to see what he was going to do. Man, I forgot to get the kills and the time for this chapter. And it's almost over with. Golly, the 28 minutes almost went by pretty fast.
I can get it. Don't worry.
So again, I use the Nimpo to cancel out the swipe so it doesn't hit me. That way it doesn't knock me away, it doesn't cost me time, and it does more damage. Make sure you refill your
I do love
Nimpo.
the animation when he fires like loads of bones at you.
Well, you know, I also decided, did I use a Great Spirit Elixir? I forget. I think it's, 36 minutes. 36 minutes and 205 kills.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
Yeah, that's it for this chapter, guys. It might be a little bit before chapter 7 comes out, but let me know if y'all think it's too long, but I think, you know, showing this is helpful for everybody.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time.